Yo, what's going on, ladies and gents? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Today we are once again back on Modern Warfare, and I wanted to share with you guys the best 7.25 shotgun class setup in the game. I'm sure this is long awaited. A lot of people want to know what the best setup for this 7.25 is. It is overpowered. As a matter of fact, it was nerfed this morning. However, it is still very, very powerful and doesn't seem to have changed a lot aside from the fact that you can no longer shoot people from literally across the map. But it's still amazing, and I want to share with you guys the best attachments that you can run on this thing so that you guys can do really, really well. So obviously we're going to be using the 7.25. Our first perk is going to be overkill so that we have the ability to do that. And we're going to be running a muzzle break under muzzle. So this is amazing. Obviously this is going to give you recoil stabilization. It's going to buff our accuracy, buff our control a little bit, not really hurt anything too much besides mobility. It's just going to take us down a small notch. I'll go back, and if you guys look in the bottom left corner for the entire class setup, you'll see that we have the accuracy, damage, and range all buffed significantly. We've got control buffed a little bit, and the only thing we're sacrificing is a little bit of mobility, which isn't a big deal because this thing you can move around pretty quickly with, and we're going to have a lot of close quarters combat situations, so it's not really a big deal to have mobility very, very high. But again, yep, we're going to be running the muzzle break under muzzle. We're not going to be using a barrel or a laser. The optic we're going to be using is the Solo Zero Optics Mini Reflex. I love the Mini Reflex for this thing. Obviously, it's going to buff our accuracy. This is what's going to take down our control a little bit, but some of the other attachments that we're going to be running are going to cancel that out and actually buff it up in the long run. So using this is going to be very, very good. You can pretty much use whatever optic you want depending on what you want to go for. You can throw literally a sniper optic on this thing if you want to get some serious range, but for the best class setup we don't necessarily need that. We're not going to be running a stock. Under barrel we're going to be running Commando foregrip, which is actually the first one you get, and as you guys can see when running it, it buffs our accuracy, our range, and our control. This is what's going to take down our mobility a little bit in the long run, but it is worth it. This Commando foregrip is good for pretty much every gun in this game, and I love it because you get it very, very early on. It's the first foregrip that you unlock, so it is very worth it. Obviously we're getting recoil stabilization and aiming stability with this thing. The only thing is going to slow down a little bit is our movement speed, hence the fact that mobility gets knocked down a tiny bit, but it's not too big of a deal. Ammunition, we're going to be running slug rounds. The reason we're doing that is because take a look at the range and the damage. It buffs it significantly. Our accuracy does go down. Obviously, we are still going to be higher than usual because of our other attachments, but the accuracy isn't too big of a deal because we have significant damage and significant range, so we should be able to take anyone out that's in our path. So we're going to be running the slug rounds under ammunition. And last but not least, the perk we're using is FMJ. Once again, take a look at that damage. We are almost maxed out on the damage, which is insane. This makes this gun so powerful. You thought it was deadly before. When you run this class setup, you're going to be unstoppable. And you can tell that it does bump up our control just a little bit. Doesn't really hurt anything at all. So using that FMJ is going to be really, really nice. So those are the attachments that we're going to be running with the 7.25. I'd recommend running a submachine gun so that we can be quick regardless of what weapon we have out, so that, you know, obviously if you use something huge like an LMG, it's going to slow you down. And then perk wise, obviously we're using overkill for the first perk so we can have the shotgun. We're going to be using ghost so that we're running around in the spawn trying to get close to players. They don't know where we're at if they have a UAV. And last but not least, we're going to be using tracker, and I love tracker when using shotguns because if you don't know what tracker does, it allows you to see enemy footprints, a trail of footprints that are left behind as players run around. So essentially you can just find those footprints, chase them down from behind with a shotgun. There's not going to be a whole lot they can do about it. So using that tracker is going to be really, really clutch. And then we're going to be running a Simtex. The reason we're not using a frag is because we're going to have a lot of close quarters situations where we're really, really close to people. And when you're using a frag, obviously it's going to take a lot longer to explode. So if we're going to be up close to people, we want to have the Simtex so we can throw it on the ground, throw it against the wall, and it'll blow up pretty quick. And then we're going to be using a stun grenade. Now I recommend the stun over the flash for this class setup, specifically with this shotgun, because if we're chasing people down, we're trying to get as close as possible, and the stun is actually going to slow people down. So if someone's trying to run away from you or they're running in the opposite direction, you can hit them with the stun. It'll slow their movement. You'll be able to catch them and hit them from behind or in front with the shotgun. Very, very good class setup. But yeah, so that is the class setup for the 7.25 shotgun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you do really, really well with this thing. Let me know down in the comments down below if you guys have any questions or anything else to add to this video. But make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.